Hey everybody, it's Delta Shiny Zeta here, and today we're going to be learning how to play Wrong Party, a game made by Unstable Games, which came out probably about a half a year or so ago, so it's relatively new. As far as the game itself, it is listed as a game that is for 2 to 5 players, recommended for ages 12 and up, and takes approximately 30 to 60 minutes. Although I've noticed that once you get the hang of it, it's a lot less than 30 minutes. It can be honestly as little as 15 minutes per game. Anyway, upon opening the box, you'll see a couple things. The very first thing is going to be this really large thing known as the score tracker. I say large because it actually opens up into 2. That's how this thing looks here. It's just a score tracker. The next thing you'll see is actually the rules, which upon looking at it at first glance, it might look a little intimidating because it's a lot, double-sided. But to be honest, it's really not all that bad. We're not going to be looking at this though in this video because the whole purpose of this video is for me to tell you how to play, not looking at a rulebook. Alright, this I'm just going to go ahead and put aside for now. And then the actual contents inside, you'll see 2 different things, technically 3. 2 sets of cards, as well as 5 of these little score, they're like little score pawns, which I'll explain in just a little bit. But what you're going to want to do is actually take out all the cards, of course. I'm going to go ahead and remove those, plus these here. Sometimes they get stuck at the very bottom. Okay, I went ahead and cleaned everything up, but basically it's going to be 2 types of cards. These are the black cards. These are all black cards. And then there is the rainbow cards, which there's not a whole lot of. So these are basically the party guest cards, and these are the party theme cards. Just so you know, because the terminology that I'm going to be using is probably going to be that. And then there's the 5 score trackers. Again, it plays up to 5 players. Basically, for the setup, each player is going to pick one of these 5. There's black, blue, yellow, purple, and red. For the sake of this demonstration video, I'm going to be just pulling 3 of them. I'll just pull these 3 that are closest to me as a 3-player game, so then you can just put the rest away. You also want to have the score tracker relatively close to, the playing area. The score tracker, as a reminder, is this one right here. I don't really have enough space to be showing this plus everything going on, so I'm going to put the score tracker on the side, but usually you put this somewhere close to the middle of the table. I'll keep bringing it out back and forth throughout this video though, so don't worry about that. Anyway, for the setup, what you want to do is shuffle both piles extensively, because when you first get this game out of the box, all of the colors that you see up here are going to be lined up next to each other. So like all the reds, all the blues, and so on and so forth. But here you can see I mixed them all up already. I shuffled them a lot, and I can just shuffle them even more. I'm not going to shuffle them extensively anymore because it's not really all that necessary for the demonstration. And I'll just cut the deck. There we go. And then this one, same thing. Just give it a nice little shuffle there, however you want to do it, and then I'll just cut it like that. And there we go. That's pretty much the setup. For beginning the game, you're going to want to deal 6 cards to each player. So I'm going to, again, be doing 3 players. So 1, 2, 3. Let me go ahead and put these to the side over here. That's 6 cards for each player. These 2 piles alongside the score tracker, you're going to want to put them relatively close to the middle so everybody has access to it. I'm going to be designating 3 different play areas, 1 for each player here. Normally, players would be looking at each other, in a table. But I don't really have too much space to be able to do that in this particular video. So these are the 3 play areas. Also, these cards would be in the hands of each player. We can then go ahead and flip up 1 card, just 1 card from the party theme deck. And this is the one this one looks like. This is Formal Dinner Party. So it's yellow and blue, and it has a couple icons over here. This is going to be the theme of the party for this first round. The game is played in 3 different rounds, and whoever has the most points by using the score tracker is actually the winner of the game. Alright, let's talk about how to actually play the game. So once this card is flipped, players are going to be looking at the cards in their hand. Wrong Party is essentially a draft style type of game, similar to games like the Sushi Go Party and stuff like that, where you're basically going to be selecting 1 card each turn and then giving the rest of your hand to the next player onto your left, and so on and so forth. So as far as how to actually get points, you want to start by taking a look at the theme for this round. The theme for this round will always have at least 1 color. Some cards have 2, such as this one. That means that that's the current theme of this particular round. So yellow is family friendly and blue is political. You don't really need to know the terms too much, just the colors is good enough. Then there's also icons down here. Now, if you take a look at all the cards in your hand, Most of the cards, at least the ones that don't have effects, such as these, which I'll get to later, I'll put those in the back. Most of the cards are going to have a couple things. As far as identifying a card, they're all going to have a color up at the top. This one, for example, is purple. This one here is black. This one here is red. And then this one here is yellow and blue. The second thing is that all cards have a point value in the bottom left corner. The third thing is that all cards will have a like or dislike section. Some may be blank, such as this one, but most cards in the game do actually have certain likes and certain dislikes. Let's take a look at another hand just to see a couple more examples of how this can look. So here we have a Royal Nanny, 3 likes and no dislikes, but 1 point. Here's a Hungry Cleric. That's an effect that's a little bit differently. Woodland Fairy, the DJ, and so on and so forth. Essentially what each player is going to do is they're going to pick one card from their hand and they're going to place it face down on the leftmost section of their play area. As an example, let's go ahead and place this one first, this Peaceful Druid. So I'm going to go ahead and place this right over here, and that's the first card for my first draft. At the same time though, other players are also going to be selecting one card from their hands and placing it face down. Just like that. And then let's say for the demonstration of this video, we're just going to pick this one and put it down. The second thing you do as a part of your drafting phase is you're going to actually be playing one card face up in your area. This face up card that you're actually playing is known as the uninvited guest pile. The uninvited guest pile, just think of it as a discard pile, but you do want to keep putting it face up. Every single time that you put another card face down, you also want to put another card face up. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this one right here in the uninvited guest. Again, I'm a little limited in space, so just bear with me on that, but normally you'd have a lot more space available. And then this one right here, for example, we're just going to put this one face up right there. Alright, so that's the first thing. Again, you take one card from your hand, you put it face down, and then you take another card and you put it into technically a discard pile, which is the uninvited guest pile. The next thing you do is the hand is going to go on to the player to your left. So let's just say it's going to go that way, and then that way for the sake of this video. Which means the player here in the middle is going to move his hand over and give it to the other player. This player is going to give their hand over to this player, and the player over here is going to give their hand to this player. So now we begin the second part of this drafting phase. Once you receive a new hand, all you're going to do is draw one card from the top of the deck, add it into your hand. So each player is going to go ahead and do this. So they take one, and they take one. So now each player should have 5 cards. Then we simply rinse and repeat until our entire hands are depleted. So for example, we're going to go ahead and place this Woodland Fairy right here in the second one. Now you do want to put them in order from left to right, specifically from left to right. If I had more space, I'd be able to put them more, with more room in each one, but I'm a little limited. That right there was another example of the second part of the drafting phase. Again, you just keep doing this over and over again until you have 5 face down cards and then 5 cards in your uninvited guest pile. So now we each have 4 cards to work with. As you can see, we're always using 2 cards per round, one face down, one face up, but we're drawing 1 card. So that means every single time we're actually losing a card from our hands. And that's it right there. So this would be more organized with more space, but essentially what you're going to be doing is ending the round, or ending this phase of your first round with 5 face down cards in a row from left to right, and then you're also going to be having 5 cards in the uninvited guest pile face up, which is your discard pile. Once every player has actually done this, you're ready to go into the reveal phase. The reveal phase is a little interesting. For the very first round of the game, which is this one, the youngest player is going to reveal first, and then you go left in that order. Let's just say that the player over here is the youngest player, which means they're going to reveal their first card and just simply flip it face up in their area. This is the Peaceful Druid that I showed off a little earlier. So you basically go ahead and reveal it like that. Then the next player reveals their first card, their leftmost first card. And the next player, their leftmost card. And then you keep going like that in order. The reason why you have to do it in this order is because there are certain effect cards that will work against cards that have already been revealed and then interacting with the uninvited guest pile in a way. So you can't just reveal all 5. Whenever you do reveal a card that has an effect, you do need to go ahead and use that effect right away. This one does not, as you can see. And then we go left on this next one, just like that. So far, no effects. I actually try to steer away from effects as much as possible for the demonstration of this very first one. This one does have an effect. Let's go ahead and read it. So you flip it face up and it says, when you reveal this card, declare a party theme type, either family, friendly, or political, which is either yellow or blue. This card counts as that party theme type for the remainder of the round. So you basically get to choose one of the two. This card is not both. Now, usually you want to try and match the color over here. I'll talk about points in just a little bit. But because this color, both of the colors match with both of the colors here, it doesn't really matter in this case. Let's just say that you declare family friendly, yellow. So you're going to put that right there. Reveal this one. Okay. Let's go ahead and reveal card number 4. Alright, that's no effect. That's no effect. And that's no effect. And then finally, the last one, again in order. Okay. And that's it. Once everything is revealed, then you're going to calculate points for this round. So how does this work? There's actually a nice little reference guide in the rules. So this is that rule document that I was showing you about. But right on the back side of it, if you just simply flip it over, you'll actually be able to see the reference guide. But there's a lot of ways to get points. And when you're playing this game and choosing what cards to actually put face down and what cards to throw away, you want to be strategic about this. Basically, there are 7 different ways to gain, or technically 6 ways to get points and 1 way to lose points. So the very first one is that for each of your guests that actually matches with the color on the theme, either of the colors on the theme, they're going to be gaining 2 points. 2 points if it matches. So let's take a look at the player in the middle as an example. We're going to move these over to the side so we give this one more space and see what happens. So these are the 5 that the person in the middle chose, and this is the theme. Are there any yellow or blue? Any cards that match? There are 2. Remember, this one was declared as yellow, and this one is blue, which means right here, this player is gaining 4 points. 2 points for this card, and 2 points for this card. These 3 are purple, and they do not match, so they gain you 0 points. That's the first way to gain points. The second way to gain points is for every single like on the card. If it matches a like on this card, you gain 1 point. Let's take a look. To be honest, I just take a look at the icons to memorize them in that way, but there's a little chat icon, pizza icon, and I guess a wine glass drinking icon. So there's a chat, pizza, or wine, you gain a point. This card has a music note. That does not gain you a point. This one does not. We're looking at this pile over here. I'll talk about this one in just a little bit. It does not. These don't actually have any likes or dislikes. As you can see, these most effect cards don't. This one has 2 icons. One of them is the wine glass, and that's like a sword dual icon thing. So that's 1 right there. And this one has no likes. So 1 point. Only 1 match. So that's already 4 plus the 1. That's 5 points. Now we're going to take a look at if there's any dislikes. For any dislikes, you lose a point if it matches the one over here. This one has nothing. This one has 2. Both of them match, the chat icon and the food, the pizza icon. So that's actually minus 2 points right there. This one has nothing. This one has the pizza icon, that's minus 1, so that's minus 3 points already. And this one actually has a pizza, so that's minus 4. Minus 4 points and gain 5 points. Right now this person has only gotten 1 point. Not very good. The next way you gain points is by adding up all the total points in each of your cards individually. So this player has 1 point already, remember. This is plus 2, that's 3. Plus 4, that's 7. Plus 4, that's 11. Plus 3, that's 14. and then plus 5, that's 18. So this player now has 18 points in total, 17 just from the scores here, plus the 1 that they have so far. 18 points. The next 3 are a little bit more interesting, and it's easier to actually show this visually. Or sorry, the next 4, not 3. These right here. Basically, if you get one party guess of each of the 4 colors, which are purple, blue, yellow, and red. By the way, black does not count. There are certain black cards, those do not count for this. If you have one each of these 4, you gain 5 bonus points. So does this player have all of them? No. They have a yellow, a purple, and a blue. They're missing a red, or else they could have gotten 5 bonus points. The next one is if they have 3 of the same, they actually get 3 bonus points. Do they have 3 of the same? Yes, they do. Purple, purple, and purple. So that's 18 plus 3. That's actually 21. The next one is if there's 4 of any color. Now there's 4, you actually gain 5 bonus points. They don't have 4. And the last one is if you have 5, you actually gain 10 bonus points, but they do not have 5. By the way, the rules make it very clear that when it comes to these different bonus points of either the 3, 5, or 10, if you have matching of the same color, they don't stack. So if you have 5 of the same one, you don't gain 10 plus the 5 plus the 3. You only gain the 10. If you have 4, you don't gain the plus 5 plus the 3. You just gain the plus 5. Just want to clarify that in case you are confused about that. And that's basically how you get points. So this player here in the end ended up getting 21 points. The way it works is that you go to the score tracker over here, and whatever color that player chose in the beginning of the game, let's say they were red, then they're actually going to move their pawn all the way to the 21 points, which is going to be right here actually. That's the 21 right there. You rinse and repeat this for every single player. So right now we only did it for one player. I'm not going to show the other 2, but basically each player is going to add up their points. If you, I guess, are not very trusting of other players, just do it together one at a time. That way everybody knows all the points that they get. Once everybody's points have actually been added up, you can then go ahead and take all the cards in each player's play areas, meaning the 5 that they played, plus all of their uninvited guest cards, and you're just going to put them in the discard pile face up. You can make a discard pile right here face up next to the actual deck. That signifies that, hey, we're not going to be using those anymore for the duration of this game. And that right there is 1 round. So it's 1 round, but you actually play 3 rounds. At the start of a new round, you basically do the same thing. You're going to be getting 6 cards for each player. There's the 6 cards for each player. Every player can go ahead and take a look at their cards as soon as they get them. But you're also going to be replacing this with a new card, a new theme. And here's a new theme. This is Training for Battle. So it's actually Costume and Raid. Wow, we've already seen all 4 of the themes within 2 cards. Yeah, so this one has 2 properties, as you can see, or 2 themes, and then 3 icons right here, the lights. And you play the same way. You simply pick a card from your hand, you play it face down the leftmost, and then you put a card face up in the uninvited guest. Kind of like that. Like that. Once all players do that, pass it to your left, and keep going on and on and on. Now, for the reveal phase, the second and third rounds work a little bit differently, because as far as who goes first, it's the player in the lead. So let's say the player on the left was actually winning after the first round. They're going to be revealing their card first, and then play proceeds to the left. If by the third round, let's say, the player to the right is winning, they're going to reveal first, and then play proceeds to the left, revealing one at a time. The only other thing I want to actually show you is a couple effect cards here. So this one, for example, says Last Minute Invite. When you reveal this card, search your uninvited guest pile, if you have one, for a party guest card and add it to your party area face down to immediately reveal it. So again, when you reveal it, if this was, let's say, the 4th card, I'm just going to go ahead and do this as a demonstration. Let's say you had these 4, like that, and then the 5th over here. Let's say you had that. You're revealing them one at a time, you know, like per person, so they're revealed, and then you get to this one. You only use the effect as soon as you reveal it. So when you reveal it, you have to immediately read it, say what it does, and then do the effect. So then you're going to go into your uninvited guest pile if, I mean, you would have one at that point, you know? You would pick one and play it. That's basically how that works. So just be on the lookout for that. You know, effects are always going to be used whenever the effect tells you, which most of them is when you reveal this card. That's usually the effect for it. Other than that, that's actually how it works. At the end of the 3rd round, the player with the most points is the winner. Before you ask what about a tie, the game doesn't actually specify that. It just says the player with the most points at the end of 3 rounds wins the game. You're officially ready for your new life as a party planner. And that's it. It doesn't actually say what happens in the event of a tie. So if you really wanted to, you could maybe make some house rule up to actually decide the winner, or you could just give both players a win and that they tied for the win. Other than that though, that's actually it for the game. So 3 rounds, try to get the most points by using all the criteria I just mentioned and avoiding dislikes as well so you don't lose too many points. And at the end of the round, at the end of the 3 rounds, that player wins. That simple. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. As always, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on those notifications if you enjoyed the video. I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye everyone. Have a great day.